I think Myria is crazy. Now, why is that? It's because reaching the price of 50 cents during this bull run, that right there is around a 185x from here. I mean, could you imagine that? Now, of course, nothing I say is financial advice nor guarantee, but I think this, if anything, showcases just how oversold Myria is. I mean, it's kind of insane to think about. Not too long ago, everyone was calling for Myria to go to the price of like $2, $3. Now, everyone pretty much doesn't believe in it. But the way I view it is that the lower the price, the better the buying opportunity for me. Now, of course, no one has to follow what I do, but that's just the way I view it. And also on top of that as well, I think the lower something is, naturally, the more hypothetical room it does have to grow. So that's what I really love about Myria. And it's not like the fundamentals are bad or something like that, because sometimes people like to say that, oh yeah, this is down to the bad fundamentals of Myria. But that's not true, because if you take a look at Myria, for instance, it's a gaming ecosystem that is powered by Myria's Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution. Now, you may be wondering, okay, what does this mean? Now, what this means is that basically, Layer 2 in this case is that it allows Ethereum to be enjoyed while at the same time not having to deal with a lot of the caca nonsense. Like, of course, we know that Ethereum has high gas fees and scalability issues. So yeah, this is a complete no bueno, and we need a Layer 2, of course, to basically combat that type of nonsense, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think you get what I mean. Now, here's the thing. More specifically, when I take a look at Myria, it does have a heavy emphasis towards gaming, which I think is going to give it such a unique selling point. Because if you take a look at, for instance, right, there are so many Layer 2s out there, but they don't really have that unique niche, so to speak, right? They're not really focused on anything, pretty much. They're just a Layer 2 that's there to exist. But I think being focused on blockchain gaming could be such a big narrative, because you take a look at, for instance, according to Grandview Research, the blockchain gaming market is predicted to be worth over $300 billion by 2030. So yeah, that's crazy right there. I mean, that's insane. That's bigger than some countries' GDP. So for the people out there that say, yeah, blockchain gaming is done, all this type of stuff, well, I completely disagree. I mean, sure, a lot of the hype did die down ever since 2021. That can't be denied. But I think that, better days are ahead. It's not like blockchain gaming is going to be down forever. Sometimes people like to say that, yeah, but the games are not the best. The quality is caca. The graphics don't even look like Batman or something like that. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't need to at this point, because you take a look at how the space is just getting started. You know what I mean? It's still relatively new. So you take a look at, for instance, like, were the earliest video games, Batman level graphics? Well, of course not, right? That'd be crazy. That's not the case. So it takes time for things to really get it going. But in my opinion, once that wave for blockchain gaming really kicks in, guess who's going to be there to catch the wave? It's going to be something like Myria, and I can't wait for that. I think it's much better, anticipating something as opposed to chasing it. So yeah, that's how much I think Myria is in a prime position. Now, not to mention, we take a look at how, for instance, when it comes to Myria, there has been over 2 million player wallets created so far, which I think is insane. I mean, that's very impressive. Not to mention, right, Myria is currently powering games such as 360 Cricket, Nitro League, Boss Fighters, and Billiard Clash as well. Now, are these like the most popular games of all time? No. And is Myria as of right now involved with like the most popular blockchain games out there? Arguably, I would say no. They're not really involved with like the most popular ones out there, but in my opinion, it's still not bad nonetheless, because again, it's just getting started. So I think it's good progress nonetheless. Now, not to mention, if we take a look at Myria, they're also heavily focused on NFTs. Now, again, this is another cringe topic to some people, because they're like, okay, blockchain gaming is caca, let alone NFTs. Caralho, porra. They may think this, but think about this, right? When it comes to the NFT market, again, according to Grandview Research, it's predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030. I mean, we're so close to 2025, so like 2030 is not even that far away. So I think that the NFT market, its future potential, at least predicted to, could be still so fantastic. And again, I think the hype is going to come back in again. It's going to take some time, but I think it's just a matter of time at the end of the day. Now, some people out there, they may think that, yeah, Ethereum Layer 2s, they're caca, all this, but here's the thing. Ethereum, despite its limitations, despite me, not really liking its limitations whatsoever, to be fair, that's why Ethereum Layer 2s exist. But even besides that, Ethereum, I think, is still naturally going to grow from here on out, despite its limitations, because it has so much fans, it has so much hype, the ecosystem is massive, so it's not going to stop anytime soon. And you take a look at the Ethereum ETF, that's massive. So as Ethereum does grow moving forward, I think it's only fair to assume that something like Myria does go along with the ride. But the fantastic thing about Myria is that it only doesn't just depend on Ethereum, right? Also, you take a look at blockchain gaming, NFTs. So yeah, there's still brighter days ahead when it comes to Myria. At least that's the way I view it. And could you imagine, like 6 months from right now, a year from right now, things could be so different. Like a year ago, everyone kind of thought that Myria was this caca thing. But as of right now, of course, they're thinking it's caca again. But a couple months ago, they weren't, right? So I think it's very easy to change the sentiment, especially when things click into fifth gear, so to speak. Now, what's going to allow for that to happen? You take a look at, first of all, Bitcoin. You take a look at its ETF, right? The number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption. That's massive right there. I think Bitcoin could hypothetically go to the price of $150,000 during this bull run. I don't see why not. You take a look at how there's even over 500 million crypto owners as of right now, according to Crypto.com research, which is more than ever before in history. So with all those amazing factors, again, I don't see why not. And as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. Now, what do I mean by that? Usually, right, when Bitcoin does reach these fantastic heights, altcoins are going to go along with the ride. And I don't see why Myria won't join that ride. And again, hypothetically go to the price of 50 cents. I don't see why not. You know, again, a high tide raises all ships, meaning that when the crypto space overall is in fully fifth gear in terms of the bull run, the FOMO, the buying pressure, again, I don't see why altcoins, much like Myria, won't do well. You know what I mean? Now, also, here's the thing. When people take a look at, okay, how long does it take, like, as a worst-case scenario? As a worst-case scenario, altcoins, they've been known to peak around a year and a half after a Bitcoin halving event. That would actually mean around October of next year because the last Bitcoin halving event did happen back in April, which is actually not so bad because it's just basically a year from right now, so it's not too caca by any means. And if anything, it's more time for me to dollar cost average, but let's say it does happen earlier, fine. And what do I mean by dollar cost averaging? You know, anytime an income, I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. That's it. Now, am I saying that if it happens early, it's bad? No, actually, that's great, right? I don't know why people would think it's not great, even though I did say fine before. It seemed like, oh yeah, it's so bad. But no, I still think it'd be great. But then if it happens a little bit later, it's also okay. You know what I mean? So both ways, it's not caca. At least that's the way to take a look at it. And it's not like 50 cents is this crazy pipe dream, right? If it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $12 billion. So it's not bad. You know, we've seen Dogecoin reach over $80 billion in market cap. So this is kind of like peanuts really in the grand scheme of things. If Myria needed like, you know, a 70 or like $100 billion market cap, then okay, that's completely ridiculous. I mean, come on. But then if it's just like a $12 billion market cap around that, it's actually not so bad. You know, let's say even we tone things down a bit. Let's say, for instance, Myria were to only go to the price of 25 cents. You know, that right there is still over a 90x from here, which is kind of insane to think about, really. I mean, it's so oversold as of right now, which is kind of insane. But again, I think that in the future, things could be so different. So as, you know, things begin to really change, as of right now, we're beginning to see Bitcoin have a good recovery. You know, I think that there's still ways to go, though. But in 2025, again, when that sentiment really is super positive, I just don't see why Myria would do bad. It did well, relatively speaking, in the past. And I think it's going to do well as well, because I think back then it wasn't its true potential, but I think better days are ahead again. And that's why I still believe in Myria. You know, some people out there, they say, hey, give up, all this type of stuff. Well, no, the way I take a look at it is that it's like a 10-mile marathon. And then I'm kind of nearing like the end. You know, I feel like this is like 8 or 9 miles down. You know what I mean? Like 8 miles, you know, shout out to Eminem. But even besides that point, you know what I mean, right? Like, it's not even that far away. Again, it's just like a year. Worst case scenario for altcoins to peak, historically speaking. So I'm going to still stay patient because, again, Myria at the price of 50 cents, that right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. I think that when it comes to Myria, it's that fantastic. And I think that this bull run could be that amazing. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.